Hello, my name's Jack Conziani. Welcome to my media presentation for English 201. Hyperreality, or Baudrillard critical theory, is a branch of post-Marxism, post-materialism, postmodernism, and post-structuralism. It was derived from Jean Baudrillard's novel Simulacra and Simulation in 1981. The titular concepts, as well as the term hyperreality, were coined by Baudrillard to describe states of reality, imitation, and copies of our reality that have become bound to images, symbols, and icons. The accumulation of representations replaces the original concepts in supplemental reality. We both simultaneously affect and are affected emotionally and psychologically by symbols and concepts. For example, a McDonald's or Disney logo can stand in to represent comfort, nostalgia, childhood innocence, and even safety. These symbols are not inherently possessing any of these emotions, and in fact are devices from nefarious and exploitative multinational, capitalistic, commercial enterprises. Ironically, by utilizing these powerful symbols and pathos-laden images, they usher in these artificial positive messages. Eventually, a new state of hyperreality emerges, where the states of reality and the contorted imitations of them are no longer distinguishable. As a result, we don't know what objective reality is anymore, and maybe the term in and of itself is no longer applicable or relevant to us anymore. This theory relates to media studies and consumerism and ideological criticism. Other proponents of the psychological theory are contemporary and preceding French postmodern philosophers such as Gilles Deleuze, Guy Debord, Roland Barthes, whose work in semiotics and social critique applied to formal structuralism, Michel Foucault, Canadian philosopher and media critic Marshall McLuhan. The theory was also developed on the basis of Marxist theory and is therefore related in terms of its analysis of capitalistic structures and dystopian consumerist iconography and devices. In this literary and critical theory, we look for artificial and supplemental messages and images in pop culture, advertising, art, and film. There are many examples of hyperreality theory at play in film. One of the most notable and apt examples is present in the Wachowskis' 1991 film The Matrix, where many of the concepts of hyperreality and simulation were applied as source material and inspiration for the script. Baudrillard's novel was itself required reading for cast members and was shown and referenced in an opening scene of the movie. The Matrix tackles the concept of waking up from delusional, illusory, artificial reality, and then escaping this binary-coded simulation to return to a semblance of base reality. This is the main goal of the protagonist, Neo, to be able to liberate his own mind and, by extension, fight the oppressors, captors from the program to save his fellow exploited humans. However, my example of this theory will be applied in brief to the famous scene from John Carpenter's 1988 film They Live. In a scene where the protagonist discovers a pair of magical sunglasses, he's able to decode the encrypted hidden messages of signs and advertisements. This is a reductive and somewhat simplistic example of Baudrillard's theory, but we can see the concealed messages as an example of the prevalent consumerist ideology. In the film and in the world we currently inhabit, the need to work long hours and sleep less to consume products and conform to rigid, stereotypical gender and social norms all account for a perceived value. Our placement or value in society is marked by our membership as productive consumer and non-defiant conformer of these norms and codes within the status quo of the structure. Once donned by the main character, the glasses reveal hidden messages under every sign and billboard. The phrases obey, consume, sleep less, work more, no free thought, don't think, are all exposed as explicit commands beneath the alternative veil of eye-catching and deceptively shiny advertisements by marketing and PR firms to sell their products. These examples represent the simulacra. The simulation is the alternative world we inhabit, where we don't see the manipulative intent of these messages and images. To expand upon this film's examples, a familiar scene of happy, vital young people drinking Coca-Cola in a short 60-second commercial evokes sentiments of comfort, status, health, fulfillment, joy, and bliss. These images sell a lifestyle, and by proxy, efface the truth or reality that the public are being marketed to in the false pretenses under the guise of a highly unhealthy chemical product whose company supports deforestation, war, and criminal activity on a global scale. The drink itself gives people the symbol of well-being due to its foundation, history, and prestige within society, as well as the lack they entail. Within every coded message lies a sentiment of lack. The lack is what you feel for not having purchased a commodity. That is when the advertisement succeeds in grabbing you. You feel lack as a potential consumer because you have been made to believe on a subconscious level that the commodity will fulfill the function to boost your happiness and self-esteem. These messages permeate our surroundings and daily life. The simulacra contribute to a simulation of a reality whereby we want to believe that we are happy and valuable and validated within the confines of an antagonistic superficial structure. An example of the hyperreal may be an extension of my trying to write on this very subject while doing a media studies analysis of a film that commodifies the concepts of simulation and truth, which conflates all aspects into a singular, indistinguishable sort of Hegelian synthesis. The elements are combined, the concepts contorted and dramatized for Hollywoodian effect. The viewers and critics are overcome with a false sense of partial understanding, and the new normal of acceptance and apathy is established. In fact, we as members of the new hyperreality reference and reinterpret scenes from this and many other movies, and willingly relish the apathy for meaning, and want to remain unaware and asleep within the existing parameters where it is unchallenging, familiar, and safe. A foundation of base reality is no longer evident and clearly defined, as all media, simulacra, and simulation are confused to create the new state of hyperreality that we all take part in.